Monster kill!
Battle begins.
For Talon to ban out the Chen rather than for Aster to ban out the Chen.
Exactly.
So that, yeah, that makes sense.
Do you like Puck here?
I mean, Puck's pretty good against Storm in the lane, but it has IO to back him up, so it could, like, you know. But again, we've seen time and time again Puck just popping off, and it is a C Puck. I kind of rate C Puck players higher than other regions.
What do they do better?
I don't know. They like it's just
they just win.
In C, it's like it's all about individuality to win the rank game. So they're more like individually like they just pop off.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's both pros and cons here, right? Like Puck against Storm is a really good counter pick. Whenever Storm jumps in, you can coil silence, but at the same time, relocate is a pretty, I wouldn't call it a hard counter against Puck, but it's a pretty good soft counter when you get to the later stages of the game. Because heroes eventually do get tanky enough that Puck doesn't burst them. In the first, let's say, 15 minutes when you have the Witchblade, you probably kill heroes too fast before IO can save. But when IO gets that mech, Holy Locket, or whatever it is, and you get into the later stages, I think Puck's initiations are going to be a little bit harder to pull off. Also, obviously, Aster will have plenty of different options for what they want to pair with this IO. They've chosen to show their mid, which is rather uncharacteristic when you pick IO in the first phase. So you set up your side lanes to have potentially better matchups with the Wisp.
Update. It is Talon that is having the Storm.
Oh.
So the logos are correct, the names incorrect. Don't worry, guys. First game of the day, we'll fix it all.
Aster banned Chen, and Talon has IO Storm.
Yes. That is indeed surprising to me
very
as well.
Everything for me checked out with it the other way around.
Just
like this
ignore
totally
everything we said for the last
literally
10 minutes.
It was just too perfect to not be true. Like this is
okay.
I don't believe you, Shiver. I don't believe you.
Wait, so okay, I'm just gonna call it left team and right team. I'm just confused.
That's the best way to do it.
Did the left team miss a ban? Because like there's a space between Lone Druid and Marcy.
They have reserve time, so they can't have missed a ban.
They can't have missed a ban. It's probably a hero that is not quite there.
Okay.
We got our commentary team coming into the studio, so they'll probably be able to shine some light on what the third ban is.
This is your
coming out
first
of
trial,
Talon.
SVG. What's the third ban?
Of Talon. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get a full screen in a second, so we have everything. There you go.
There it is.
There you go. It's going to be the Bane that was banned out there. And yeah, Aster with the ban on Chen. So
I like this ban from Talon, Dazzle. One of the highest win rates during the tournament. It's one of their go-to heroes when the Wyvern wasn't picked. Razor's also banned. Pudge, surprisingly, hasn't been banned yet.
Yeah. Do you think he has a good matchup against Storm? I think the lane is fine, right? Like Pudge can farm against basically everything in mid except some like very specific hard counters that you don't really see there, probably. Is that something Aster would lean towards? I think the hero is actually pretty good against IO partners, for example.
Yeah.
Can just stand up to those tanky heroes. All right, Talon. You know, again, I feel like if we didn't have the team names on screen, I'm still looking at Aster playing the Radiant heroes. Like, it's literally just bread and butter for Aster, but
it also fits in the wheelhouse of Q from what we talked about earlier.
Absolutely.
He does play a pretty good Spirit, and every time you're against a Puck, you always want one hero or two that's really good at like catching this Puck. Because I've noticed in a lot of games, you know, Puck's just so free. Once there's no like DK or towards the end of the major, they use Pudge to counter Puck. But one good silence, it's kind of screwed because they're more greedy this time around. Witchblade, Dagger. Yep. Sometimes they don't even go for like a Eul's or a way to counteract that silence.
If nothing else, just having a hero that kind of makes Puck either think twice about going in or having to invest in a Eul's already feels like a win, because you're breaking that timing that Puck has had recently that's been so powerful, which is that Witchblade into Kaya Sanj, and you just kill heroes and you get a fast Octarine and you're just invincible, right? So I do think Earth Spirit fits the bill there. A little bit concerned for Talon that they're this heavily countered by BKB currently. Now Aster are going to grab themselves a Viper, which will likely go that route.
Yeah.
The Puck probably won't, so at least that's something, but Aster, obviously, if they are to grab BKBs, might hit some sort of really, really strong mid game. Where I'm a little bit worried for Talon if they can stand their ground and protect Roshan for down to a fight.
So it's a Viper offlane with Tiny. Oh well. Juggernaut, but not.
No Juggernaut, why not?
I don't think it's too bad.
Yeah, it's okay. Once they start like sticking together, the healing ward can do a lot.
Is there anything that lanes well with IO +1 against Viper Grim? Or Viper +1, whichever one.
I think it's Viper Tiny.
It's
Viper
probably
Tiny?
Viper Tiny.
Like, is there anything that lanes well? Because that just sounds like a very painful lane, regardless. Would you maybe want to swap things around, put your offlaner on the safe lane?
I mean, one of the heroes that would lane very well against this would be Naga Siren, but I don't know if Talon wants to go that route. I also don't think the hero... I think Naga right now is not particularly strong, but I think one thing it does very well is handle very specific lane matchups like the Viper.
Yeah.
But to me, it isn't a fit for Talon's draft here. And I think they would also get a little bit too solved in the end of the draft. So they're going to opt to just wait with their carry entirely and pick the Brewmaster. I don't know how much I like this, to be honest, because you kind of see what you're facing, right? So I think maybe you should have identified what the best carry in this situation was and grab it now. But
yeah, I guess
this way they get to ultimately last pick the carry.
Yeah, they want to give Savage the win condition. And with this pick, they got 5 spirits.
Now they picked XSS's Brewmaster. It's like, you're literally... I feel like if any team in the world knows how to play against this lineup, it's got to be Aster. It's like all their favorite heroes almost that they're playing against right now. So, definitely...
I don't know, but you never play against yourself.
Seems like pretty good for Aster.
Which hero, sorry?
Anti-Mage. That's pretty good against Master in the lane, and then give... I'd be surprised if Talon doesn't ban it out.
That's the thing about Dota. Every hero is good, you know, once in a while. And this is an AM game. He's not good very often, but AM is very good here.
He's banning TB. I mean, it does well against Viper in the lane, but
yeah, TB could be.
At the same time, it's good against anti-mage.
They banned out Juggernaut on the side of Talon.
What carries do you think handle Brewmaster well? This was a hero that started getting very popular toward the end of the major as well. Mainly Aster stood out playing it on XXS, and you just, you know, you go this Ags refresher build, you have 4 splits, you keep cycloning key targets. In the past, what counter Brewmaster would be heroes like Luna with auras, so you just kill all the Brewlings. I feel like that's a bit far-fetched to try to pull off nowadays, for the most part. So do you just have to accept it and hope your silences in your team are going to get the job done, or is there a specific type of carry? Illusion carry, maybe? But then you get dispelled. You know?
Void does pretty good, but it's just like Void kind of is one of the more weaker ones in the lane because he just doesn't do much besides time dilation. With Grim, it could work out, but also Brewmaster's laning partner is pretty weak.
That's true.
Like, and they're probably just gonna be. Oh no, they're Radiant. So I mean, I guess you could still drag the lane, but it's not as efficient as Fear and Dire. Alchemist ban.
Aster's turn to pick.
Hey.
All right.
Interesting.
PA will be that final ban. For Talon. Alright, so for Aster, you're still thinking anti-mage. Do you feel like the bans that they went for
it's anti-mage or Bloodseeker for me?
Bloodseeker is also very good. I'm wondering if you could also consider something like Bristleback. I think maybe you could actually run over this lane. You're playing against 2 melee heroes and you have Grimstroke, so
good pick.
That's why we hire you.
I think this lane is actually really powerful here. You don't really have good solutions as Talon for this problem. Great partner with Grim, great partner with Puck. And an added benefit when you play Bristleback safe lane is that a lot of the time if you're playing in a good lane matchup like this, you can leave Bristle alone as soon as he has the Ring of Health, or at least Vanguard. Like then he's completely fine to just play 1v2, and you free up the Grimstroke to start playing with the Tiny and the Puck and just find kills globally. So I think this is a really solid solution. And some of the great Bristle counters are out, right? You have Viper yourself, Razor's banned.
They banned PA themselves.
You banned PA. So, yeah, looks pretty good to me.
Pretty solid indeed. Oh, this is a tough puzzle for 23 to solve.
You probably... Do you want a Silver Edge carry here against Bristle Viper? Is that what you have to settle for at this point? And if you do, then what are the options even? Like classic IO partners, maybe Chaos Knight. There's Sven, which is a kind of a stretch, I think. I think Sven gets outpaced here and he gets hard countered by
Yeah,
Viper.
for sure. One
So-
Viper strike, he doesn't want to play anymore.
I think Chaos Knight doesn't look too bad, but you're a little bit concerned about the puck mainly. But CK one of the heroes that can kill Bristle.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about a hero that I know is not going to get picked, but it does build in the shuttle.
Oh. Yeah, that could.
That would be the first luck ever. They go for
Sniper.
Sniper.
He also
Okay.
does Silver Edge.
He does. He
Yeah.
can anyway. Yeah.
Interesting.
IO Sniper. This pairing is actually really interesting
And
when you
Sniper
have...
hurts in the lane. Like,
Yeah.
it can be ridiculous.
The thing that Sniper usually needs to really thrive is that he has a strong front line. And I don't know if they have that this game. Like, your frontliner indirectly is the Brewmaster, but he can't frontline without using ult, because he's just going to get killed in a silence. So I don't know if you really have that perfect, wall that Sniper wants to just sit behind. But I guess if KP plays a really, really strong game and plays some strong control, perhaps it could work out. I'm a little bit worried.
I wanna bring it
skeptical.
back a little bit to what we said earlier about how we wanted Q and Maboka to support the mid. Do we feel like they can do that with the heroes that they've got?
Boboka definitely can.
Yeah.
Q a little bit harder because I feel the lanes are just not like as strong as
You
Aster.
can't really leave the Brewmaster alone, basically.
That's my concern. I think that's why the Bristleback pick is so good, is that it locks Earth Spirit too much in that bottom lane to really want to rotate much. I think Grim Bristle can just run at Brew whenever he's only just
Then you
killing.
have Goo, and you have that Inkswell.
You could even go 1-2-0 build in this lane, actually. You don't even your passive at the beginning, just run it.
Well, we're going to find out how they'll build their heroes and how this first game will play itself out. Together with our commentary duo, we're heading over to Cap and SVG.
We're kicking off ESL 1 Malaysia with two teams who had two very different results at Arlington Major. One team, Aster, only lost series against Team Spirit. In the entire major, they only lost Team Spirit twice when it came to a
Something
series.
to hang your hat on, at least.
Yeah, that's something.
Only the champs defeated us, so
Yeah, exactly.
technically they were better than LGD too, That's how that works.
Sure, that's one way to look at it. So, Aster, they're definitely on a high of some sorts. Maybe they didn't win that event, but they placed third. They did pretty respectably. Meanwhile, Talon, they only won one series. That was against Sonics, which, no offense, SVG.
Well,
I'm not sure if that's the greatest achievement.
I mean, Sonics also took the game off LGD in the group, so
they
again,
did.
They were champions in their own right. I don't know if we can draw too much from that type of group stage. But you're right. I mean, these are two teams coming in with probably a pretty wide degree of confidence. That said, I always feel like these SEA teams show up and they're like confident as hell, especially playing at their home stage in a sense, right? SEA tournament, they're going to have the fans. As long as they can get there, get the confidence rolling, get some momentum.
Look
Could be
at
a different
this
story.
Oh no, 23
Speaking of
Savage, he's in
momentum.
danger. A toss back string to the rest of Aster. He does have the shrapnel out and will be able to slow him down with the rest of Talon coming in. Aster has to do a quick 180, retreat on out of here. He's going to hide away into the trees. Monet is going to threaten them with the quills. They don't want to stick around for that. And ultimately, it does look like Aster might be walking away the winner of this engagement. I mean, they're going to get these two bounties, it looks like. And Puck might be able to secure a third.
See if he chooses to use another orb for it. They're tethering top. I mean, early
No, he's
shrapnel
not.
use, also an early boulder smash on this Earth Spirit, which can be fine. Depends how you want to lane. And they're sending in bottom as well. So pretty interesting. Trying to do this IO brew lane, which is kind of some throwback tech. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
Try and just get this Brewmaster through the laning stage versus Bristleback, abuse the early sticks. Oh no, he's going to TP bottom. So just start the 3 bottom. It's another route with dealing with this Viper. It's kind of something teams slept on a little bit, but Viper is pretty susceptible to these early tri-lanes if you can give your carry a lead. The goal is give him the early lead, give him some early kills, and leave him later on. Continue to abuse the low levels of Viper, because Viper really wants the level 3, he wants the level 5. That's where this hero turns into the lane bully. He gets delayed getting there because he has to play very scared here. Where this hero suffers. I don't think it's something we saw too much at Arlington, but it is something some of these teams are very happy to do.
I would have expected this where the Earth Spirit starts top, does the pulling, maybe gets level 2, and then does like a later TP rotation gank. Starting off like this is a bit curious because it does mean a Brewmaster is obviously going to have a bit of a slower start, but also, you pointed out, he leveled Boulder Smash at the start, which I'm not sure if that's your best tri-lane ganking ability.
I mean, it's just basically stop the pull from Vivoka. Plays me down here. They are zoning this Viper off, but again, your Brewmaster's going to suffer. I mean, he's getting XP. He went boots first, so they obviously prepared for the idea. He's going to get a little something. He's running to base. Ultimate free farm for this Bristle. The scary thing for me is I don't know if you want to tri-lane a Viper when the enemy has Bristleback, because this is not the carry you want to give an ultimate free game to. You can stack jungle for him, you can stack triangle for him, you can even stack big camp on the lane. Just accelerate this hero into an absolutely disgusting Ags timing, and then he just takes over the game, right? Bristle is not a hero that cares about necessarily a lot of counters in Dota if he gets to his items at a good point. So that's my worry here. Okay, you're going to shut down this Viper a little bit. He's an annoying lane hero. But in terms of the overall game plan, is this going to end up being something that Talon's happy with 10 or 15 minutes down the road? I'm not sure. It's also a question of this mid lane. I feel like a lot of this game is, does Ori puck get 6 before Storm? Can they abuse the coil gank on mid? Can you shut down the Storm, put the early levels into him, especially with both of the 4s being roamers here? That's the big question mark for me. So if Earth Spirit's game Q gets slowed down, is he going to be able to make those early moves?
AP challenging the Grimstroke a little bit, but Q, he's going to show up now with a Boulder Smash. The slow might just be enough, especially with Ghost coming in, and KP does indeed secure first blood. So that is certainly going to help out what was obviously kind of a rough start for him, going boots first and having to run back to Fountain already once.
Very nice kill. As you said, the Ghost Creep getting a little assist action there for the neutral jungle. Is looking for the neutral deny, but of course you never get it. Take what you can get. I mean, again, that's Boots first Brewmaster getting that first blood. Oh, talking about swinging a lane advantage back in his Talon's favor. Exactly what they're looking for. Even the extra levels for the Earth Spirit.
Trying to interrupt the Storm Spirit. Might even, yeah, they definitely got the kill. Easily, Ori is going to be able to pick that one up. Really nice use of the combination of this puck. And, oh, nice toss back. Bobica. 23 Savage actually has to go for the straight up TP back to tower. So if they can get a kill on him sometime in the next 30 seconds, it would be a massive win.
That small camp kill, the stroke did so much damage. Sometimes that small camp stack betrays you a little bit, you know? Maybe some karma action going here. You can stack it, ends up feeding the stroke some extra damage. So a nice little rotation, kind of cool to see. You knew the lane was pulled back top. Yeah, making the most out of this early Grimstroke.
Yeah, you know, he gives away first blood, but ultimately he gets a kill on the enemy mid off of that TP rotation.
And I think that's way more influential.
Yeah, certainly.
This is a game where Puck and Storm are going to set the tempos for their team. Especially Storm versus Puck in this particular matchup, I feel, is super dependent on first 5 to 10 minutes. Who's getting more runes, who gets those solo kills.
Oh, and there it is. They did indeed get the kill onto 23 Savage, so his TP is probably going to be on cooldown, yeah, for another 25 seconds.
That's a rough one.
That is going to be a rough walk back the lane for him.
Think about your sins while you slowly amble back.
I mean, this is why I did like a little brief interview, and it was talking about Bobica, and I feel like this guy is back into form, you know? This guy is like a true threat like he was at DAC 2017.
Whoa. Who said he went anywhere? What do you mean back?
Yeah, I feel like he did go frequently back to the airport in some of these LAN events, you know?
Going savage
pretty early.
Huh?
Jumping in on the Storm Spirit again. The question of whether or not Ori was going to be able to get 6 first, well, he certainly was. Getting the kill on Storm Spirit twice now before Storm hits level 6 of his own.
Aster really prioritizing what, in my opinion, is the most snowball-dependent lane in this game. Making sure it works, so very nice start for Ori. He's going to be very happy with the supports this game, you know? Basically getting that old tri-lane mid-action a little bit. Enemy stack stolen. Looking for the 6-minute rune. That's going to be the next point to snowball his game here. Looks like he might just heal up for it as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see his Aster supports head back towards mid again.
KP going to be able to dodge the Inkswell stun, but he's running deeper and deeper into the fire and flames as Monet is stacked up not only the goo, but also the quills, and easily gets the kill. 4-1. Aster taking a very early lead here with 2,000 net worth in 5.5 minutes. I mean, this laning phase is going great for them.
Power of the matchups, right? They get this Viper hero that is just always a threat with the toss back, the free bristle lane on top of it. Puck versus Storm, which Ori is definitely going to favor, especially with how Aster plays around roaming to that mid lane. They're just taking advantage of all the early play action here, and yeah, building a significant advantage already. Definitely going to be happy with this one.
And I have to wonder, especially from a shot calling perspective, Q not being able to hit the ground running, being pretty low level at this point in time. Like, he's the captain. Like, he's the one who's going to be calling all these shots. I know I've heard many players, when they're having a bad game, it becomes harder to kind of make those shot calling.
For sure, especially from a support position. If you feel like the game is just at a weird tempo, or, you know, some people are randomly dying, or he's already got 3-0 on the board.
Yeah.
Your moves start to disappear pretty fast, versus especially these extremely stable Chinese teams.
All right, this is going to be rough. Shrapnel going out. Might be able to get one kill first on Bobacup, but 23 Savage is definitely going to be laid to waste here as Q is also going to be chased away by Ori with a regen rune. Might be able to get the kill. Misses the orb. Q. Job juking back. And Ori will miss out on that one, but still, the pressure is already there. He's going to use this regen rune probably to kill the next creep wave. They can put nice tower damage in. KP is just doing some crazy shenanigans at this point in time. They still have the Inkswell stun to be able to stop his TP,
the
which
body
is being
block
up for 5 seconds.
Agent Creep trying to save him.
Tried to save him as they lost sight for a bit, but they do finally catch up to him and punish him for these kind of shenanigans. These are the sort of things that a veteran offlaner like KP, he's used to dealing with, but Aster, he's having a pretty good nose of how to be able to shut him down.
This is going to be a rough mid-game for Talon. Let me tell you that. They do not have the best comeback mechanics in terms of the fight outside of that Brew, who, sure, your ult's useful without net worth, but I don't know how useful it's going to be into the early tank ability coming out from Aster. Viper, double Wraith Band, Vanguard Bristle, and yeah, another smoke down here. These early support rotations just not working out for Talon.
They're going to break this smoke from Aster, who tried to use their combo to bring down the eye.
This
No avail.
Grim is 5.5.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
They're just kind of looking at Aster, probably looking at those levels going like, okay, guys, we are so far behind. How do we actually fight? Especially if Ori's going to be showing up to the field.
Oh, you don't want to fight this. This is not a fight you're winning. Grim Tiny, I mean, if you're comparing the damage output of these supports early on, Grim Tiny, this goes back to the OG runs of TI. This is a very high damage support duo, especially with all the levels this Grimstroke got. That's kind of the downside of these Brood S top. Maybe not too significant in slowing down his level 6 timing, but you're giving a lot to these Aster supports, and they do a lot of damage with it, whereas compared to Io or Earth Spirit, you need your cores to be strong to deal the early damage. That's kind of the upside and downside of Io. If you fall behind, what's this hero offering you? Not a huge amount. Just some mana for Storm, so the Storm has to be strong, and he does have double damage. So this is potentially a big point where Talon can try and find the fight here off the Brew ult and the double damage Storm.
Yeah, and that's why they were stacking 4 heroes mid for the longest time, but there was just no openings being provided. I mean, trying to jump this puck is already enough of an effort. They're going to rotate down to bottom lane. Viper is a much easier kill to be able to grab here, especially since he's so far forward in lane. And XXS turns around, does what damage he can, but ultimately knows his fate is sealed. 3-7. It's Talon find a kill, but it doesn't really change the story of this game, which is Aster getting a bigger and bigger net worth lead. All of the lanes are going.
Most of a difficult situation. At least they got urn charges on his Earth Spirit.
Oh, this is a massive kill if they can get it. The only reason it's even possible is because of the double damage. Monet is going to be racking up some quills, but the double damage does bring him down first. Meanwhile, the split being used in the bottom river is going to be able to catch the Grimstroke. A nice squishy kill that, I mean, that was a high-level support too, so pretty nice one to get. KP is going to have to retreat here as he goes back into hero form. 10-minute runes coming up, though, so you definitely want to secure that. Nice used Tumbler's toy. Gets him out in Q. Can't quite roll far. 10-minute rune does spawn top, and that's going to go to Ori. A regen rune for a puck. That's a dream.
We'll take it for sure. Farm it up with it, you know, clear all the jungle, maybe make his Bristle a little mad, but making the most of every rune he's gotten, at least. That double damage, like you said, definitely doing work for Talon. They're doing that damage to take down the Bristleback. Did a decent fight in early with the Rule. All of a sudden, though, Aster trying to strike back.
Yeah, they're going to be able to. The Storm Spirit's running out of mana, but the IO is going to be able to help him out a little bit. The toss up in the air, and down goes the Storm Spirit. But the trade-off, if they can actually get XXS, maybe it's going to be worth it. But oh no, reinforcements are here. Ori is going to make sure that KP can't get that kill in time just before he can lay down the clap to get the kill. He ends up dying instead. Hyde is going to try and indeed hide himself away into the trees, but there is nowhere to hide and nowhere to run to either. And it's going to be a third kill in this bottom lane for Aster. And really nothing in return for Talon, as this is an underfarmed sniper and underfarmed and underleveled everybody else.
Witchblade treads puck at 11 minutes. This is absolutely out of control for Ori here. Tier 1 down, massive teamfight loss. There's not going to be a lot of places to go on the map for Talon as well in order to come back in this game, because Monet can just sit up here. He's an absolute raid boss. And
yeah.
every one of these little fights you lose to this puck after the early snowball kills on the lane. This is why this hero is a very high priority pick. Once he gets out of control, it's pretty hard to stop him. Like, who's going to be dealing the damage to take this guy down in the fights?
And as you said, it's kind of like a dream scenario for a puck, right? You've got a safe laner who's a raid boss who you can't bring down, so it's hard for Talon to fight into him. It's hard for them to fight into this Viper, and if they ever do try, well, they're tanky enough that Ori can just TP rotate and change. You know, maybe the side laner does die, but Ori's going to clean up that team fight, sure.
He doesn't even have to play frontline, right? He's got frontliners for days. He's got Boca to run. I mean, Boca basically always just runs in, even if he's on a hero that shouldn't. So you got that going for you. Like you said, you got the Bristol Viper who are naturally just going to force these objectives at some point. The fight's going to come to Ori naturally. I don't even think he's pressured to make this stuff happen, but he gets the runes and he gets those fights. He's happy to take them as well.
Now, the one upside for Talon does feel like they can take team fights when they have the Primal Split, which they do right now, and they're trying to make a rotation to the Brewmaster and see if they can catch Aster somewhere around here. But it seems like Aster might be wise to this. They backed up into their own triangle. I did see a line being drawn, and they do spot out. There's Bobica. They're going to be able to catch him. Now, Monet is showing up.
Aster's
we'll see if this turns into a full-out team fight, because Bobica, he's not going to die just yet, but eventually he does. Coil goes out. IO is quickly going to try and remove that one. He does have to relocate and might be needed here to be able to get somebody out of here, but it looks like Makoto has enough mana to get out. The Earth Spirit's already died, and KP is out as well. So another Primal Split down, and ultimately they traded 1 for 1. So I feel like that's still going to be another Aster.
Just such a hard area to fight in Talon. It's so far out after the Tier 1 goes down. Aster can easily bring in the reinforcements. Again, you're initiating on these tanky heroes. Where's the damage? Where's the IO Earth Spirit early damage that's going to come out in a early skirmish like that? He doesn't want to pop ult on a solo Tiny or something like that. It just gives time for Aster to take these fights if they want to. They also don't even have to take it, right? They just let Baboka die. 4 heroes form in the bottom lane. Who cares in a way, you know? Just stack for the Bristle, get his Ags timing, force the Roche. Aster's right on track here. Like you said, the best way for Talon to come back in this game is those fights off the Primal Split. Primal Split is pretty strong in this game. Picked it into the Viper. One of the benefits is you can toss this hero, deal with the rest of his team. Move that annoying frontliner. Primal Split does not last forever, though, in terms of strength. I think we've all been there where you're stuck on the level 1 ult, and at a certain point, it doesn't feel as strong as it used to. The liquor wears off a little bit.
That drunken hate begins to get a bit of clarity when you run into a Tiny that has 1,300 HP, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought these supports were supposed to be easy.
One day you're partying at the club, the next you wake up the next morning, you're a little hungover, you're in a haze. What happened?
Bobica, they're going to lead off. Ori is going to be able to find the opening. A very fast kill onto 20 Savage. Again, you can see power that not just these supports, but their mid. I mean, they just don't lack for damage right now. I feel like they never will, really.
Inkswell Grim. You run around the map with this 2 or 3 man hit squad that's just going to be Grim, the Tiny, and the Puck. Some combination of these 2 or 3 can basically threaten this sniper the whole because of
they're
how far
taking
behind he is.
Ancient stack as well. That's just rude. Leave one creep behind to block the camp too.
That's why he paused, guys.
Very important information.
I mean, they left them 1. You know, they left. Is it better to leave 1, or it's probably worse? You know.
I mean, if considering 15 minutes, yeah, there was supposed to be there would have been a full camp, but instead they left 1. 1 survivor.
Well, Roshan's not going to survive for long. Ags Bristle already up from 1A here. He's having quite the game.
This is every carry's dream. He just farmed up the Dire Triangle, especially as a Bristle back who's given stacks. Talon's going to get here just in time to see that, oh, hey, Roshan's dead. They're indeed inside the pit, and now Q is...
Yeah, that was not the check you wanted to check, you know?
Yeah.
Not the hotel door you wanted to knock on. Again, does Talon have the damage to fight this early ball that's going to come out here? Now, this could be like a 20-minute high ground or something. I just don't see them killing this Bristle. In theory, it's the sniper who's going to provide this spacing in the fight that forces Aster to try and gap close, and then that sets up through the Storm, the Earth Spirit to come in and silence the overextension. Sniper needs to output enough damage for that fight gap to be a force of action, you know, to put Aster under the pressure, make them have to jump deep, and get the fight under a tier 2 or in their base. I mean, that's basically what Talon's playing for right now. rat the map out, force Aster into trying to go early high ground, bait a dive, and then punish them on the dive.
Yeah.
If they're too tanky for that to happen, though, you lose some of that window as well. So the big question here is, can Talon play the map in a way where they get the farm, get that damage up to a point where they actually threaten these cores in the fight? Because if they can't threaten them with a damage, it's going to be a walkover for Aster. Literally just going to walk over his base and start hitting it.
Yeah, Makoto doesn't have a TP. Oh no, relocate out, hide. He will potentially be giving up his life to secure the Storm Spirits. Oh, the sacrificial. They did show 3 heroes bottom lane, so maybe they could do something on the other side of the map.
Potentially. Not a lot of tower damage though, and this is a full HP tier 1. Again, can you dive Baboka in these types of situations? It's so hard.
You can see they're trying to set up for it, but
Yeah, they want to.
They pop out. Oh, another great use of the Tumbler's Toy. Number 1 tier 1 neutral item. Yeah,
I'm a little biased. I mean, that item makes support. Heroes like Shadow Shaman, you cannot play Shadow. If you're playing Shadow Shaman, you don't get a Tumbler Toy. You just say, oh, there's lag, and you DC, you know, I have to reset my internet.
Go next.
Yeah. That item is so...
It's like a, weirdly, for a lot of heroes, it's like a early Ether. Like that extra bit of gap flows to require to get some of their spells off.
For all of these melee support, it's pretty nice. Yeah. I mean, there's some
Not to mention the 200 mana on some of these like melee strength heroes or something.
Free
like
energy
tiny.
booster, I'll take it.
All right, well, Aster is going to be completely uncontested wherever Monet goes with another 2.5 minutes left on the Aegis, so he's going to start bulldozing down some tier 2s. They're ready possible. And they do have some really good tower bulldozers. The Bristleback's damage, everybody should be very intimately aware of Bristleback's crazy carry potential and how much physical damage he can rack up when he gets his Aghanim Scepter, especially later on when he gets 5 Talon. But they've also got the Viper, who has that shard that is really good for bringing. Well,
depends how early they want to try and force it. Windy Savage is going to be forced into the grave here. Gets caught on that other side of the map, and this is just the freedom Aster has. They can just run around, they can smoke wherever, leave any of their cores on the other side. It's just the value of the tank ability here. The Viper with the early BKB, he's so hard to go on here. Map is going to get squeezed out pretty fast. They do have Brewmaster Ags, and trying to farm enemy Ancients here to get the XP to get to level 12. Again, level 2 Brew ult, vast difference from the level 1 ult. You can at least take some extended fight off the back of 2 of these. You know, toss a Viper, toss a Bristle, try and kill the supports, get yourselves a number advantage, maybe a support buys back. If you get the core kills, they're going to be worth a lot. I mean, comeback kills they're pretty significant in the current meta.
I do feel like if Talon is going to win one of those team fights, one of those high ground defense team fights, it's going to be one that's 30 seconds. You know, because that's how long it's going to take to be able to bring down a Bristleback and Viper. You know, they're going to have to like isolate some heroes, let Sniper go to town. Storm's going to have to do a bunch of zipping back and forth. They have some good vision on Ori right now. Oh, no! An opportunity presented itself, a rare one, for them to be able to get a pick off on Aster. And unfortunately, they whiffed by lightest of margins there.
Pretty much the only ward they have to try and... Yeah, just a little too slow. Missing the opportunity to maybe get this puck. I'm not even sure he dies though. This puck's pretty tanky. Still, you got to try for those every time you get them. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities in a game. When you're behind, you got to take advantage of it.
But yeah, not against a team. See that one.
Showed a little bit, maybe.
Could be.
Well, Aegis is out. A little bit of a window to probably still not take the fight, you know, but
Yeah,
think about it.
I feel like we've been talking a lot of doom and gloom, but the one highlight for Talon is always that their high ground defense is pretty formidable. They've got a Sniper, they've got a Storm Spirit, they might even have some sort of weird Earth Spirit kickback situation. So that is definitely their one opportunity to be able to win a fight. Anything outside of the base feels like nigh impossible.
You were banking for some early high ground here, or even just running into you, which yeah, feels strong enough to do. They have the link on how gets canceled.
Yeah, it gets canceled. KD gets a decent ultimate off already. Be able to focus down both while tossing out Bristleback in the air. Storm Spirit's going to be able to fall back. Yes, they did. It's Monet. That damage is just...
Hit him so hard he didn't even get the second one off. It just ended his career. And
now the tier 2 is going to fall, and Aster may not even have to worry about a high ground fight when it comes to pushing into this tier 3. They've got 25 seconds to be able to do so, and maybe if they can get another kill.
Fishing with that ink swell for that sniper. Decent positioning there from Savage not to get caught. I almost think that kind of botched, if you want to call it, initiation from Tiny benefited Aster, because it ended up drawing Talon out of a high ground defense situation where they fight into Aster, and Bristle's, oh, you're coming into me? I'm pretty happy to just hit you. Yeah, it almost kind of worked in their favor. And that's a tier 3 down, tier 2 down, another team fight win. The problem with playing for high ground in this patch is the Roshans add up. Just too much net worth on these Roshans. At some point, you have to contest them. That's going to be the downside. Like, I think in some of these older patches, you could turtle for a while, and as long as in theory your heroes had the fighting power to scale through some spells or a couple items, have the comeback potential, in this patch, giving up the second or third Roshan is just devastating. It's just way too much effective network.
I feel like the third one is especially where things just an insurmountable lead. The Talon, they're trying to play a bit of game of hide and seek, hiding around the side lanes, but immediately Ori with the haste is just going to be diving right through all of Talon. Does manage to get the two-man coil. 23 Savage is already dead. Storm Spear might as well just get full on out of here because the supports are probably dead. He was going to go for a long haul on out of here, but is going to be chased down.
He's got a lot of stones to use, though.
He does.
The upside.
But they got him.
The Witchblade tick. And they're already going high ground on the other side.
Yeah,
Wasted no time.
He's out here trying to find the smallest of W's, which was a courier kill.
Hey, those courier kills add up. You know, you get to the other side of the map, you start sniping 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
You get some morale boost for your team. You know the enemy's annoyed. Maybe they've got some net worth on it. It can be a 5 or 6K net worth swing. I don't know if it's helping them in this situation, but
yeah, when the trade-off is 2 lanes of barracks.
It is something to think about in these behind positions. Like, every time you can force the enemy's attention back to part of the map they don't want to be thinking about.
Yeah.
Pretty nice to do.
No, certainly. And especially, it would have worked in that situation if the bottom lane wasn't already pushing in.
Yeah.
Because he could have, like, cut the mid wave and stopped them from going high ground, but unfortunately, backdoor down. You see Ori, man. I mean, just absolutely fearless. Just needed information.
That's also the benefit of this Grim Shard. Just swell the puck in. Even if he gets silenced, it's going to pop, free him up. He base shifts. The fight's just hard for you.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like you need multiple puck in the meta. Because you can bail him out with something from your supports usually. Or you can build some item. You know, if you only have one source of control, he builds an Aeon Disc or a BKB or Yules at some point. All of a sudden you have this hero that's just out of control in the fight. He goes in, gives vision.
The last drive from Talon. If they can actually win this fight, maybe secure Roshan for themselves, it could be the start of a turnaround. They've already killed the Grimstroke support. They do have it. Yeah, 23 Savage just being run down by the Bristlebank. They do have the IO healing him up a little bit. Couldn't get the relocate out, though. Immediately stopped by both the Avalanche as well as Ori's coil. And they're going to make sure KT doesn't get an opportunity to... Okay, he does actually get it off. Another primal split. And he will run away with that split. But ultimately, fight's already over, and they can no longer contest that all-important shot.
Farming the wave up. Farming the wave a little bit.
Trying to, anyway. He's like two-shotting these rulings.
Somebody's farming somebody. You at least stayed out on the map. You know,
True.
Little victories. Little victories.
All right. Well, that is going to be an Aegis shard pickup, which kind of curious if they just... Oh, Viper already has his shard, so never mind. I was going to say the Viper shard might be better just because you are going to go high ground, but...
A life of luxury.
It is. When you can afford it yourself, they are going to be able to find the pickoff. You could see Talon, they're trying to do little games where they play in these side trees, but it seems like Ori has time and time again spoiled any move that Talon tries to make offensively. Any trap that they set up, Ori just kind of like bulldozes through.
That's the benefit of that free game from Monet here. This Bristleback hero is terrifying. Oh, like the start this hero has, how fast he can accelerate the objectives of Ron. Just force the high ground. You can't keep up in terms of damage output for how tanky this hero gets and how fast he gets it. That was my concern with how they were approaching the lane start. And panel talking about it. You're throwing a Brewmaster up here solo to a Bristleback? It's like, oh, you know, good luck. I hope the utility's good enough. I don't know if this is the pattern. Eye on utility.
Do you think that IO Bristleback, or excuse me, IO Brewmaster would have been enough to slow down Monet?
Probably not. I don't know. It's kind of just a bunch of how the draft went. You have to exert pressure somewhere, though. You can skew the mid, right? This even would have been better for them. Like, let's say Storm is snowballing on top of the puck because you're just rolling on this puck from level 2 or something. Sure. It's not really that effective. It probably doesn't feel great to do, but you need to, like, I just think Talon needed to get at least one of their playmaking cores between this Storm and Brew going in this game. Because otherwise, where's the pressure going to come from to create space for the Sniper? Sniper is not really a hero who wants to... Unless he dominates his lane. Like we've seen in the past, you have some IO Sniper versus a Beastmaster for counterpicking, you destroy him, and you're killing boars, and you're killing hawks, you're killing the whole jungle. Then you're just a monster, you join every fight, you snowball the game. This was not a lane. In fact, he got tossed back and killed in the lane after they tri-laned it. You just end up in a game like this where it's super snowballing, and again, the Roshans are worth so much, just too hard to come back. Not enough damage in the tank. That said, I liked conceptually how Aster played this. They're going to be a strong team this turn. They know what their supports want to do. They know where they want to prioritize that extra help. They're not afraid to leave some of their cores alone for early parts of the game. Prioritize Ori, prioritize XXS to get them rolling. Nice use of the Grimstroke. I think this hero is a little underrated as well.
High ground ward. They're going for the Brewmaster. He does have the Aeon Diff if he needs to, but the puck got silenced. They do manage to get that kill, and they get the relocate back out. Q tries to roll away, but a long-range swing from Monet finished them off. Still, though, that high ground defense is alive and well for Talon. They are not done with this game just yet.
Siamese Cat misclicked the Inkswell? Is that what happened there? Because I saw him cast it on himself, and I'm pretty sure you want to be casting that on puck almost always. I think Ori went in banking on the fact, like we said, he has his Dispel to pop, and he can bail out. I mean, it happens to the best of us, you know?
Yeah,
sometimes.
True.
Maybe it's some internal, you know, I'm going to swell me. I'm the carry. I'm the beast.
Maybe Ori was, you know, talking smack about, like, how he's carrying everybody, you know? He doesn't need anybody else.
Yeah, you gotta humble a little bit.
Solo winning this game, guys, and, you know, put him in his place.
Lanham told him, you know, don't let his ego get too high early on in the tournament.
All right, well, Makoto will do what he can to push out some of these lanes. I mean, being able to get a Kaya is a pretty significant upgrade in damage, at least for that last high ground.
You got the Orchid up too, so now at least you have those 2 silences instead of just the 1. Yeah. Again, you have to think about the Inkswell pop, and you have to think about how tanky this puck is, but like we saw, he'll die pretty fast. The Sniper is up to Dragonlance Maelstrom. EKB, the high ground defense, yeah, you're down 2 racks. You're also down 25k. Get a good kill at the start of the fight like that, though. Brewmaster can prolong it. At least a little bit. I mean, Bristle's still going to be an issue, but you're not going to solve this Bristol issue for a long time. No. So you kind of just have to ignore him. You know, toss him up, try and kill the puck, kill the supports, eke out those high ground wins. Not going to give him a high probability, but I'll give him
a chance.
There's always a solid 3% or something.
Yeah, Dota Plus says there is no chance.
I was generous then. I was generous.
Goddamn. Absolute savage.
I'm a generous god. The 3%.
You gave him 3 whole %. All right.
More generous than Gabe gave him. I mean, merciless. 0. The game's just over. Call it.
XXS gets an Aghanim Scepter. Looks like he's going to be looking at Scotty next. I mean, if this game does happen to stall out, he can turn into another right-click hero. But they do have... I was a little bit surprised. I thought he was going to go for the pure damage build, go for the Crystallis first, but he actually goes for the Shadow Blade first.
It's Silver Edge.
Oh, yeah.
They just need the double break this game.
It's absolutely true. I just thought he would go for the damage first, but I guess he does need to get out of the base in order to get more farms, so...
You can bypass some wards, which is exactly what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Earth Spirit and his team are chasing him here. Might be leading them right to the Sniper.
Or maybe they... Okay, Bobuka. He is going to turn around 2-man Avalanche, and KP, he realizes this is not a fight to win anymore. They're going to leave behind Q, and he's going to have to blow a Primal Split to try and get out of here. The Storm Panda,
they do have a gem.
He's going to be the one to look at a retreat here. They actually do find Hyde here in the trees with the coil. Nice pickup there from Ori.
Space for Sniper. For Spaceman Sniper. Oh, very fitting cosmetic here.
It's true. But the mid lane is already pushed in. So the Sniper, like, he pushed out that bottom lane pretty nicely, but backdoor protection is off, and Monet's damage is absolutely absurd. starts pummeling KP, and if he gets the right number of bashes, oh no, KP!
Aeon disc.
He does have the Aeon disc, does pop the ultimate, and now maybe they've overextended themselves a little bit as Mikoto. He starts going for that puck with the assassinate. Not quite enough damage. Oh no, and now he's running out of mana. Caught by the Groomstroke as well, and the Primal Split is gonna wear out. That means
Wear out.
nobody is left.
He's not gonna wait for it to wear out. He's just gonna
Apparently
send him
not.
to the early grave.
They do get the relocate back for the sniper, but what's the point of being the fountain if your whole base is exposed? And that is going to be a GG called. Aster, they had quite the run at the Arlington Major, and they show up here in the very first match for ESL 1 Malaysia. It seems like they really have not beat. They look to be in very good form.
Run-of-the-mill game from them. I feel like they
Yeah,
got
it
everything to
was.
win it out of the lanes. Talon just not finding the pressure anywhere. And you give a team like Aster an early start like that where they're getting free farm on the course they won.